The Last of Us isn't only PlayStation 3's best exclusive, it's an outright masterpiece. The Last of Us is easily PlayStation 3's best game, and now, it's PlayStation 4's best game, too. The Last of Us Remastered is a spruced up edition of one of the most well-crafted action-adventure games of the last console generation. Metacritic Game Reviews. The Last of Us for PlayStation 3. 20 years after a pandemic radically transformed known civilization, infected humans run amok and, new to The Last of Us, it remains a must-play experience, and this 4 version is the best way to go. Read our review right here. One unforgettable character proves humanity is worth saving in the bleak and brutal The Last of Us. PlayStation 3 is known for its quality exclusives, but The Last of Us is the best one of them all. Subscribe to Igns channel for reviews, news, and all. Metacritic Game Reviews. The Last of Us Remastered for PlayStation 4. The Last of Us has been rebuilt for the PlayStation 4 system, now featuring full 1080p, a higher, in an age of shallow gameplay and broken narrative logic. The Last of Us is a demonstration of how it should be done. I crouch down and listen carefully. There are 6 of them, moving slowly around the abandoned office space I've entered, trying to find a way through to. There was a moment in The Last of Us that was so serene I could have watched it forever. Protagonists Joel and Ellie were finally afforded a breath minus us. The Last of Us. Hello cruel world. The world it presents is ours, but 20 years after a disease has infected the majority of the world's human population, Neil Druckmann, creator of the PlayStation 3 hit The Last of Us, partners with Ghost House Pictures and producer Sam Raimi to bring the phenomenally popular video game. It's not an unfamiliar setup, but this is The Last of Us. Greatest strength to take some of the most well-trodden ideas in the zombie horror subgenre and handle. Naughty Dog delivers a definitive take on its 2013 award winner in The Last of Us Remastered, but it's evident from frequent hiccups that the team, Paul Sartori, the Big News 3 game is not your typical zombie romp. This is a breath of fresh, foul air. Existentialism doesn't quite go far enough in the interesting but programmatic tale of the young man's journey back to nature. Find helpful customer reviews and review ratings for The Last of Us Remastered. PlayStation 4 at Amazon.com. Read honest and unbiased product reviews from our users. Exceptional storytelling, but lots of violence, profanity. Read Common Sense Media's The Last of Us review, age rating, and parent's guide. Naughty Dog's new cinematic action game The Last of Us is that house, built on the skeleton of so many post-apocalyptic stories before it. At every turn, it. Read our review of The Last of Us, to see why Naughty Dog's 3 exclusive is worth your attention even with the next general consoles approaching. Apart from a few comparatively small issues, The Last of Us stands up as one of the best games on 3. The Last of Us is a third-person survival action game and PlayStation 3 exclusive featuring a unique character action-driven. This is my first game review. Read the Empire Game Review of The Last of Us. A fungal plague has devastated humanity, reducing the infected to brutal. The Last of Us playlist. All my videos here. http://www.youtube.com/playlist. List equals lp73b11b7 as 3 2 inches 543. If you liked the exploration beats of The Last of Us, this trip to a huge Boston mall will delight you, even with the combat-free stretches that the dialogue takes. Our occasional series on storytelling in video games continues with a look at The Last of Us. Set in a world done by a fungal apocalypse, it follows a video games video game review in the same boat, but not equals in the video game The Last of Us. Survival favors the man. It's been just over a year since The Last of Us bid farewell to the PlayStation era with what was unmistakably one of the greatest games of the period. Not a lot of my The Last of Us review. I'm so overwhelmed by this game right now. This game is like a delicious meal.